On the intake camshaft, the bolt that went right here actually broke off in there and fell inside of this spark plug well. And then tomorrow we'll go ahead and pick right back up. Oh, that's still hot. Whatever this is, I don't know if that's rust in the gas tank, but it's not good.
There you go.
Today we're going to be rebuilding this motor. I'm throwing the term building loosely because, you know, stock pistons, stock rods, bearings, rod bearings. So I guess we're just assembling it. And you're probably wondering, what the hell is taking so long? I had to wait for parts to come in, you know. I'm a regular person too, but I did get some stuff. Alright, so we got a bunch of stuff to start reassembling this motor. We have the dowel pin that goes to the head right here, head bolts, head gasket, and a bunch of gaskets, front main seal, oil catch can, water pump, fuel filter, coolant temperature sensor, and we're replacing the thermostat while we're there. Alright, so we popped that dowel pin right on. We're going to go with the Felpro composite head gasket. I don't think I'm going to do the multi-layer. Keep going from there. The torque wrench I bought was actually the wrong size, so I went and got another one. We're going to go ahead and torque everything to 22 feet-pounds, starting from inside to outside, and then we're going to go ahead and hit it with 59, loosen everything, and then do it again, 22, 59. So we'll just get started. I might just time lapse this right here. So. Yeah, it turns out I'm really weak. 50 pounds is harder than I expected, man. Oh man, I'm scared of stripping this fucking head. I don't understand why I have to loosen it, but whatever. So we had a small little problem with the 240, kind of held me back a little bit. Man, that car is dirty, it needs to get washed. I was putting on the intake camshaft, the bolt that went right here broke off in there and fell inside of this spark plug well. And so I was having a hard time getting it out. I had to go ahead and get a smaller magnetic pickup tool. We got the cam caps all pointing the front. You see they're all numbered. This is the first one. I2, I3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so you get the gist of it. Yeah, they're all in order. So yeah, this was the bolt that broke, and then this piece got stuck inside of the head, and I could not get it out for like a whole day. I wasted a whole day trying to get this piece out. Eventually, I just welded a nut on top of it, and I unscrewed it. It came out. The one that I had before, I could not reach into that damn spark plug well because it was too big, so I got this one from Walmart. By the way, I had this new stairs right here built, and at first I didn't like it because I felt like it was taking up too much room because, you know, I was able to fit 3 cars here. Now I can only fit 2, but I kind of like it. So when I set the timing, I had these black marks on the chain right here where the dots go. And I guess whenever I was torquing these down, I did these to like, what, 90 pounds, and then this one to like 45 pounds I torqued them to. I think the chain slipped. So this is where it's at before I disassembled the motor. And now it's back at it. I went ahead. Everything is where it's supposed to be. It's kind of weird. I don't know exactly what to do. But I put this on here and I turned the motor over like 4 different times. Actually, I turned it over like 20 times. I took my bore scope camera and I put it in there to make sure the valves weren't hitting the pistons, and I got it set to top dead center. Like, the cams are where they're supposed to be, and so is the idler sprocket, and that it's at top dead center, but it's just none of the lines are lining up now. And this is, I did this about like over a month ago whenever I disassembled the motor, because it wasn't timed right. I mean, it was timed right, but it wasn't set to these, and I keep turning it over and it's not like hitting the pistons, so I don't know. There we go. Alright, so we got these pieces off with minor persuasion from my rubber mallet, and I think one of these bolts right here ended up getting stripped out. It's not that one. No, it is this one. Yeah, so I'm probably just going to have to run to Home Depot or Lowe's or something and try to replace this. I don't want to put this back on. It's going to be a pain. And I think I'm going to clean this before I do put it back on. But finally got that out. So yeah, everything matches up. They gave me some spare studs to put back on here, which is kind of cool because I actually bent those and I didn't want to bend them back in place. There is a piece that goes right here for the oil, and I can't find it. I looked inside my box over here full of gaskets. I don't have it. All right, so this is the gasket, this little seal that goes into right here. I drove like 20 minutes to go pick this up, and it was actually mislabeled, and as soon as I get home, look what I find. That little gasket. But it's cool. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and use this new one, and then I'll keep this as a spare, I guess. I don't know. I'll just leave it in my toolbox and something will happen. So I went and got some parts cleaner, cleaned this off just a little bit more with like a wire brush. I'm not trying to get it perfect, but I just want it to look nicer. You know, I don't want my hands caked in oil every time I touch it. So I think this bottom half is pretty much done. I guess not really, because I got to put that on. But yeah, I just changed out the water pump. I used RTV in the gasket as well. And I used RTV in the gasket as well for the thermostat right here. And then I changed out that front main seal because it was only like $9 and I'm already here. So I think after I put this on, the lower timing cover would be pretty much complete. I got to find those bolts that went here for the positive crankcase ventilation, which I'm going to route my oil catch can to now since I got one. So I'll go ahead and put this on, and then I'll catch back up with you guys right there after that. So it looks like this tiny piece right here is actually like activated by vacuum, and since I deleted those 4 I don't know, we'll call them nipples. Since I deleted those 4 nipples, it's not. I can put something in here and there's like a spring in there. So since I'm gonna put the oil catch can on there, there's not gonna be any vacuum on the oil catch can. So I just took this off, and then this fitting right here is just hollow, so there's nothing in there. So I think it's the best bet to just do that. Alright, so this is my block off plate right here that I made. I actually JB welded it before I had my little welder right here. I'm not proud of it. I know it looks very sketchy, but it is what it is. It's what I did. So it's just a block off plate, just so it doesn't have coolant going to the heater core, because I'm not going to be using the heater core. So it doesn't have to be anything fancy, but whatever, man. The motor is elevated. It doesn't naturally sit this high. We got the lower timing cover with all its components, the upper timing cover, the upper part of the intake manifold, lower part of the intake manifold. I took off the alternator and the bracket that goes there because that stuff is covered in oil. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean that because I cleaned everything else and it kind of looks gross. So another thing I noticed is these injectors on the bottoms. You see they're different on these two versus these two. So maybe they were probably changed out with another KA car. I don't know, a pickup truck, a Nissan Altima. Yeah, I'm just gonna put them back in there, but I'll probably get new injectors later. Probably not new injectors, but I'll probably just go to the junkyard and just take 4 from my Altima and then just get them flow tested so they can match a little bit. So there's a guy down here who does them like $10 an injector, so I don't know if I can get them cheaper, but that's really not that much money. This alternator is like caked in oil. You can see it. I wasn't even gonna mess with this, but it's one of those situations that, like, while I'm here, damn it, while I'm here, I might as well just try to clean it up. I was just gonna try to take the wire brush to it and just spray it off when I get to work on Monday, but I don't want to wait till I get to work, so whatever, it's the weekend today, so I might just try to clean this up just a wee bit, you know. There's not all that. That's freaking gross, dude. I mean, it's just motor oil, it's not gross, but so we got the motor for the most part assembled. I still have to put the oil pan on, but we got the intake upper and lower part. Cleaned out that alternator just a little bit. I put the belt for the alternator and I put the belt for the power steering pump. There should be another belt right there for the AC compressor, but we do not have an AC compressor, which leads me to the next thing I got to show you guys. This is my bunghole. I want to show you guys my bunghole. Oil pan was kind of a pain to get on and off, and I bent it a little bit right here. It got a little bent out of shape. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is I got a dash. Let me see if I can get it off with one hand. Alright, so if you know what it is, then you know. If you don't know, then I'll explain. I'm not left-handed. So this is a dash 10 AN fitting that we're going to put on here. We're going to weld it now. This is going to be the drain for the turbo. So you have the feed that goes on the other side with the sandwich plate, and then you have the drain. We're not going to turbocharge this car just yet. I want to get it running, drive it for a few weeks because I kind of miss it, to be honest with you. And I have a cap, so whenever you weld something, you want to clean it off. I'm going to weld it with flux core. With flux core, you don't really have to like strip the paint off the metal, but I just did just to clean it up a little bit. Also, if you could stick weld it with like 60-10. I know with 60-10 you can weld paint. I've done it before when I was in school, and it's fine. It'll do just fine. But I'm gonna go ahead and put this on here because flux core has a lot of spatter, and we don't want any of the spatter getting on these threads right here. So we're gonna put this on here, close it back up, weld this, spray paint it black with some high temperature paint, then bent this back into shape somewhat as best as I can. Then we're going to put a nice bead on it. We're going to put the oil pan back on here with the pickup tube. I have the pickup tube in one of my boxes. And then we can drop the motor because it is elevated at the moment. Put the exhaust side on it, put the intake, and then we can put the wiring harness and the battery back on. Alright, so this is it right here. Probably going to clean it up a little bit more and then spray paint it. It looks okay. It looks like it's going to hold. I welded this with flux core, like I said, so there's a bunch of spatter everywhere. But we're going to go ahead and probably stop for today because it's actually getting late. It's pretty dark. And then tomorrow we'll go ahead and pick right back up. Oh, that's still hot. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and pick back up after where we started. It's like 8 in the morning. Got this Rust-Oleum high temperature paint. I think that it should be good for this. I just need it to not rust. So I might go ahead and just get some of this too right here and go ahead and weld that because that's been chipping. And then I flattened this piece out right here. So I'm gonna do it out back because I don't want to ruin my good table. Alright, so this is it. It's all painted up. Looks a lot nicer. I did a few coats. It started to spread. But yeah. This is it. All painted up. So I'll probably just hop under there now. Man, there's a hurricane coming. It feels so good, this weather out here. I love it. Alright, so this part right here is the EGR. I went ahead and welded it. I got home from work early. We have a hurricane coming, so I don't really have much time to work on it. But I welded that. I'm going to go ahead and spray paint that black. Also, I got this right here, the turbo manifold, and I was just so excited, so I was trying to put it on. But I couldn't get it to fit, so I don't know. I think this one doesn't line up. I might just take out that one stud, see if it fits, and then if it is, then I'll drill this one out even bigger, but we'll see. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and just paint that one now. Say hi. Hi. I found this fuel filter right here. It was looking very rusted. If you look right here, it says made in Mexico, so which leads me to believe it's probably the original one from 1993. So I pulled it out, and guess what we got? Whatever this is, I don't know if that's rust in the gas tank, but it's not good. I put new gas in there, 93 octane. There we go. Alright, so I got good news and I got bad news. Let me just get right into it. So we had 2 hurricanes come back to back, and it actually knocked down our pole. It's still right here in the neighbor's yard. No one lives here. But yeah, we lost power for like 5 days, so I was without power. And I got the motor finished, and it turns on, but it's got a horrible vacuum leak.
There you go.
Focus. Alright, for the focus I can show you. I got this JB Weld steel stick. I'm gonna go ahead. It's like a 2-part epoxy. And go ahead and fill this hole right here. I'm under the assumption that this fan right here, this clutch fan, was hitting this part on the intake, and it just got a bad vacuum leak right there. And also one of the injector seats, it's like 30 years old, and so it's like molded onto there. I'm ordering new injector seats, and then we're gonna get the car running again. But it starts, but it just doesn't run that good. So After that, then we will go ahead and drive it. Alright, so this is probably a bad way to end the video, but I got like 20 minutes worth of footage, and I just kind of want to finish this video and go on to the next part. So unfortunately the car starts, but we're not going to be driving it today, so stick around.